Mr. Higginson with us for tonight and also tomorrow afternoon. And I know that many of you have come because you want to hear him so much. The last time he could not come because he was sick, but he's got better now, haven't you? Not quite, but he's a lot better than what he was. So we do welcome you to our road. But shall we all sing together hymn 186, God of the granite and the rose, soul the power and the deed, the mighty tide of being flows, through countless channels lawful and deep. 186.
To that divine part of us, which we know where God abides within us. We have come together this night that we may build here a power that will enable those we love to manifest to us, that we can hold communication, that we can receive their thoughts, and they can go away too, knowing that they and we have come together in thy name. We realize there is great need for thy power upon our earth at this time. We realize, Father, that there is this hostility, that there is this inhumanity to man. There is this fear that dominates our earth. We appeal to Thee to bring to us that power which is the greatest power in our universe, for it can remove mountains and remove fears and despair. We have come that together we may bring about this heaven upon our earth, and that here in Blackpool we can kindle a light that will eventually find its way into the hearts of people. So we pray that tonight each one of us will be uplifted. We will go away feeling it's been so good to be in thy house. We offer to thee always that which is thine, giving to thee the honor and the praise and the glory. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Higginson is now starting our service, and will you please speak to him if he comes to you? It's very important that he gets your voice, and I'm sure you will have a very good day tonight together. So we do now call on Mr. Higginson to give us what he is receiving from the Spirit. Thank you, Mr. Higginson.
I thought this was going to be my first thought to describe to you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Gordon.
Very nice to see you here. And you know, the different times that we're passing through, and also the dark and the cold, nevertheless we are coming together. I would have thought that I would be here, because last year I was told I would be able to work at least 12 months. And the doctor said you will always have to take these tablets, and you always have to use a stick. And so I said, well, I don't think so. Anyway, I suppose I thought probably God was expecting me to go and sort out heaven. Anyway, I suppose God must have thought of it again, thought it better not to have me up there, or wherever it is, and stay here for a while. I'm sure it's always nice to be here among friends. So the power that we talk about is the power that helps us to be aware that there is something beyond this earth. There is something else beyond this life. And I've always felt, because we've always known that there would come this time in our history which would be the great testing time of the life of the earth. We have always known that the time would come when man could annihilate himself and bring devastation to the world, that the life upon this earth could fade away. But then the great powers of the Spirit thought again and said, oh no, we can't have people taking over God's place. And so leadership came much greater, 150 and 200 years ago. Because the only way in which the power of God can be felt is when we realize that God is here. It's a moving, living God, a force of goodness that we bring about. And when we realize there's no such thing as death, and how wonderful it is to know, this points the way to understanding not only that there is a God, but there is a purpose to our life here upon this earth. I think that is the actually the greatest thing. So we now know that we can't die, and we also know that life continues. And because it continues, it is for us to, I couldn't feel anything, I couldn't see anything, and I really felt that it had affected, in some peculiar way, my being. And when they said, you know, you will do it, you'll try, will you? And I said, oh yes, but you better get another medium there, just in case, because it might be that I can't do anything. And so I asked Linda Young if he would sit on the platform just to take over, should nothing happen. And also another medium. And they sat there, and of course I stood up, and I couldn't see a thing. Couldn't hear anything, couldn't feel anything. And I thought, I was just going to say, well, ladies and gentlemen, I've at least tried. But all at once there loomed up the Spirit and said, come on, let's show them what we can do. And I was marvellous. I was very excellent. So at the end of the meeting, Paul Leonard, who was trying to get up occasionally, must have said, do you want me up, you see? And I was saying, I completely ignored him, actually. I looked at him and said, what was he doing there? You know, in another world, I suppose. And so I went long over my time. And as I sat down, it was lovely to feel that the people really enjoyed it, and they really did feel like I felt up in heaven. And then it closed down just like that. Just finished. Couldn't think another thing. I couldn't have gone on. It just completely closed. What have we done? We are mere channels, aren't we? We think we're good. I think I'm good. I know I'm good. But yet you see, if the Spirit says no, we can't do a thing. So we realize that we can't, we are only a channel to enable the power to work. There's something wrong with that channel. The Spirit doesn't use it. If they don't use it, we can't do it. So I now say I'm good, which I am, with the help of the Spirit. See here. I don't do any other, because they might say, Sherry, who's the boss? And then I have to sit down. So, ladies and gentlemen, we learn. And it's nice for us to learn. Anyway, I'm good if you'll be good. Say yes to everything I tell you, you have an honest. That means be honest, of course. And say yes if it's yes, and no if it's no. If I know I'm right, I shan't believe you anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. Because I know you will have to come and apologise to me about it. And I love people to come and apologise, because they're coming down and say, you know, when you were here the last time, Mr. Higginson, I said, oh yes, you told me so, oh did I? Yes, you said you were right, and I said, was I? And they said, oh yes, you know, apologise, you see, and I smile because I know it, see. I always like to feel that the Spirit is always right. If there's any mistakes, it's yours or mine, but not really there, because they come with knowledge and power and great enough. So just think about it, and let us be together. I wonder whether the gentleman who's sitting in the aisle there, you're with a lady, does the name of Clark mean anything to you? There's someone there giving this name to me, and they keep telling me that they knew Bill very well. Who was William you call Bill in your family that's passed over? Was this to do with an uncle, and was it on your father's side of the family? You better say no, haven't you? There you are, you see. Start off with the first name. You have sometime either worked in a post office or with wires, something to do with communications. Is this correct? Have you worked with that at some time? No. There's someone there that seems to know this then, but the clerk is standing there in the aisle, and I could see communications and things to do probably with cables and things of that sort. Who is it that knows this? This is someone. You're there, are you? Oh, you do, sir.
I used to.
Did you know someone named Bill that was an uncle?
No, I haven't, no.
Who was Bill that knew your father, that was linked up with your father? It's there, is it?
Bill was my uncle.
Pardon?
Bill was my uncle, it was my father's brother.
It was your father's brother.
Yeah.
And you was named Bill. Okay. Now then, who worked with cables and wires and communications?
He did.
Oh, he did. Because that's what I got, you see, here. And I seem to have this gentleman there giving this name to me and also mentioning the name of Clark. So there must be a link with the name of Clark. Is that correct?
There was somewhere I can't remember it.
Who did they call Millie? Because I can hear someone say Millie to me.
And the next door neighbour was called.
Next. Now, was there a Clark there? Because they seem to be connected with it. And was there not also someone they called White?
Yes.
That's right. That's where I am. So that's the link that is there. Sorry about that, sir. You nearly got a message then. Not quite. But nevertheless, there it is. And my communicator that is here is trying to tell me that they wanted to come through because there was someone still here belonging to your father's side of the family of whom there's been some concern for some considerable time. Is that correct?
That's right.
That's right. Now that is what they have come about. And they're trying to tell me that I was to inform you that you are sorting your own life out. But it will take a long time for what has happened to do with the family in the past for that to ever right itself. Does that make sense to you? Good. I also have someone that keeps saying, have you seen Peter recently? Who is Peter that's living now?
I know some people.
And you have. Wherever Peter is, I seem to feel that there's a boy somewhere, a child, and someone that was born late. When I say late, I don't mean they were late, but I think that the family had this boy rather late. Would that be where Peter is concerned? Was he a late coming child?
I don't know the value of the baby, and I'm not sure.
Oh, all right. Well, will you find out? Because I know I'm right. You see, that's what I got. Here it is. And I want to say to you, it's funny how your life last year was not working out as you thought it was going to do. You had a lot of bother and a lot of trouble in getting that right. And then all at once it began to fall into place. You seem to feel you know where you're going, and you're rather tackling it, which you know you've got to do. Is that right? Well, do it. In your handbag, before you came out, did you put into your handbag a letter that you've received during the last day or two, and you had something to do about it?
I figured out, I put it back and I'll read it in the table.
Oh, that's right. Because they saw you do this, and they wanted me to tell you that they watched this very carefully and wanted me to pass it on to you. All right, good girl. And they just sent their best wishes to Margaret. Do you understand that? So there's someone named Margaret here. Are you going to see her tomorrow?
No, it's sister-in-law.
All right, pardon?
It's my sister-in-law, she doesn't live here.
Oh, she doesn't. Well, you're going to hear something very soon, because it's coming from a gentleman that looks as though it's on the father side of the family. Is that correct? He's passed over, but he wants to get something through to Margaret there. And he's just said to give you Harry, and you'd know who it is. Is that correct? That's right. That's it. Now, I have a gentleman here named Simmons, I think it is. There's someone there that knows the name of Simmons. It sounds like Simmons to me. And it's here where the lady is in with the red coat. Do you know anyone by that name? Are you with a gentleman? Are you two together? Don't you know one another?
Right, yes, we know each other, yes.
Oh, that's all.
Yes.
You're not friendly or anything like that. Just all right. You have to be so careful. Nevertheless, I seem to have someone there named Simmons, and one of you three, do you live close to each other? The three gentlemen?
We do.
Not you. I see. You're just a sort of casual sort of. Oh, hold on. Oh, your mother's just come, sir. So your mother's crossed over. You've been sending your thoughts to your mother very recently. It must have been a birthday or some anniversary that has come around that you've been thinking of your family. Is that correct?
I'm always thinking of my mother.
Oh, you are. Well, there's something special that has happened around this period, you see, that I have to give to you. So I wanted to go through Christmas into now, this beginning part of January here, and there's something they obviously want to convey to you. So I'll give it to you in a minute. Do you two live very near to one another?
Yes.
If you do, could you live near to a cemetery? Pardon?
Half a mile away.
About half a mile. If you go to where the cemeteries that you visit, could you see anything to do with the sea there? Could you
We're
see?
right by the sea.
You're right by the sea.
Yeah.
Because I keep seeing the sea but a cemetery. And I have a feeling that you occasionally must pass the cemetery. And when you do, you know someone that's there in the cemetery. It's you, is it?
And we've got
Have
the sea cadet base is right.
Pardon?
The sea cadet base is at the cemetery. Is where the cemetery is.
Oh, it is.
That's where
And
we
you
are.
know someone that's in there, and you
Yes.
pass this.
Yes.
Now, could the lady also pass the same cemetery?
Oh yes. Yes.
Oh, that'll do.
Yes.
Because what I have, you see, is I have a feeling from what I'm receiving here that you two have been somewhere of where you've discussed things and there's been some spiritual activity. So have you sat together in any way and discussed things spiritually?
Yes. We are.
Pardon?
Yes. We have.
Well, now then, there is someone saying to me that they're in that cemetery where we're talking about, belonging to you, and they've met someone that was drowned at sea, and they're in that cemetery. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. We do.
And you also know of a child that also passed away, and you know their family. Now, somewhere you've known the name of Simmons or Simmons. You know, that's the sound that comes through. And I feel that I have a gentleman and a lady that you could have known a Mr. and Mrs. Simmons. All right, let's keep going. Whoever this man is that's here is short, he's not very tall in stature. And he keeps coming here, and I feel that he's known you in some way, and he wishes to be recognized so that he can come to you. As I'm talking about this, he's talking about Chris. Someone you know named Chris.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
He knows Chris as well. And he's talking about you could have a son. Is this correct?
I am son, yes.
But grown up, you know.
Yes.
And if so, there could be, I feel they could be married. Is this right?
Yes.
And settle down, a home, this sort of thing. Well, they're talking about this.
Well, probably that's where the Simmons will come, where the sea cadet base is.
Oh, that's
But you will know better than I.
That's right. Well, whatever it is, that's what I got. Do you understand that? And Gerald, something to do with the name of Gerald has just come through here. And they've come along with Sam.
Oh, yes.
Do you understand that? They've come together, and there's also someone here by the name of Williams. Not William, but Williams as a surname.
Yes.
They wish to be remembered to you. And they're also talking of something parade, that you know something about something parade. Is it the name of a street or a road or something with parade in it? And I can see here a band. You knew someone that used to play in the band, and the band used to congregate at the parade.
That's right.
That's it. That's what I thought. They've come to see you see. And they've said that you've been saying so many prayers and sending so many thoughts out. You've been saying to yourself, this is enough's enough. And
I feel that I've got to sort myself out. And the more you try to sort yourself out, the worse you seem to get.
Quite true.
Is that understandable?
Quite true.
And I have to tell you, they've watched over you and wanted me to tell you, they've seen you going through all the correspondence, they've seen you going through all the cards, they've seen you going through all the letters, they've seen you going through all the past, including certificates of marriage, certificates of death, and also new children coming into the world. They've seen you go through all this because you've had to create for yourself, not those memories just by themselves, but the thought that you can go on. Do you understand that? And you've got to go on, you go on. You just be of good cheer and know that they're not very far away from you. I hope you can follow it in that way. Splendid. They just told me here, they saw you going to, is it Poulton 5?
Only 5.
They told me they saw you going only a few days ago. Oh, it's you, is it? You visited someone at Poulton 5. Pardon? What did she say?
Shopping there. Yes.
Oh, you went shopping. Well, you weren't by yourself.
No.
No, because you met someone. You seem to have someone with, is this correct?
Yes.
Yes. Well, George wishes to be remembered to you. And he says that he's to tell you that he didn't think you were going to get about like you were getting about, because at one time you had some trouble with your legs. Is that right? And you had some trouble with your knees. Yes, you are. Because they keep saying, oh, it's you. Will you keep out of this now? Because I get this. But they told me to bring this in, and I have to tell you that George, that is here, wants me to lift you up. Lift your feelings up here, because I have to tell you that you'll still be here when many that say, hello love, how are you, will be on the other side and you'll still be here. Will you remember that?
I will.
Because it is important that you understand the situation. Have you got that?
Yes.
Good. Why do I keep seeing lemons here? What do lemons mean to you? It's not a name, is it, lemon? What does lemons mean to you? Something to do with Jack. Who's Jack? You knew someone named Johnson, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yes. Well, didn't they used to call the man Jack Johnson? I see. Will you take it that they did?
Yes.
And then prove it. You see it here. Oh. What's the matter? What's the matter?
Jack Johnson.
You know Jack Johnson?
Yes, I do.
Oh. Looks as though you see that they're trying to get in for both of you there. But will you just keep in mind, while I give you the subject with lemons, and I rather feel, you've known someone, madam, that had grocery, green grocery,
Oh, yes.
and you always must have wanted lemons for some reason, because they brought you lemons there, but it was somewhere where there was a green grocer.
Yes.
You understand that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, and Ted sends his best wishes to you.
Oh, lovely.
You understand?
Yes, I
He's
do.
come in there, and he says you'll always have enough to get you through. Oh, I wish they'd told me that. But you'll always have enough to get you through. Do you understand?
Yes.
So be a good girl, and keep your chin up, and you'll find you'll come through so much better. All right?
Yes.
Good. I don't know whether it's the lady, one of the two here, but do either of you know the name of Tunstall? Do you know what that means?
I know a place called Tunstall.
Have you had? Sorry?
I know Tunstall.
You know what?
Tunstall. It's my baby name.
How is it? Would you know anything here to do with Devon? Or have you any contact with Devon and Devonshire cream?
Way in the past.
Pardon?
Way in the past.
Then who was it they called Pat? Someone that they used to call Pat. But I think it's a lady and not a man. You belonged to a lady, now please don't take this wrong, but, and they'd always know that if she was there going anywhere, she'd have to look the part. She wouldn't sort of just go any old how, you know. She always had to look right. At some time, this lady's been belonging to you, and she's been in your life, because it seems as though you are the apple of my eye. I felt as though everything I can do for you, I'm going to do. And she's heard your cry, and you've cried out to the Spirit, you see here. And she's heard it, and decided she was going to get through tonight. And she's done it in her way. And I can see an old cottage as I'm talking to you, with the stairs that seem to go round a little, that were rather awkward. And you remember that house and that cottage. It's years ago, but you remember it very well. Is this correct? Good. I want to give you that. And there's someone here calling Sally to me. They keep saying, ask if she remembers Sally. Do you know something about this?
Yes.
And you've sent your thoughts out because you've been going through a very difficult time when you felt your heart. You know, very often we have to smile and go on when our heart is breaking. Now, I've got to tell you this, and I hope you'll take it in the spirit I'm giving it to you. But you've needed a lot of love in this last 12 months. You've needed a lot of feeling there. And because you felt torn apart with one thing and another, but you seem to have had to stand together and here hold things together. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Good. Then your father must be passed over.
No, he isn't.
Oh. A gentleman just touched me and just said Dad to me. Now who could that be?
That's my grandfather.
Oh. Would you have called him Dad more than Granddad?
Yes.
Oh, that'll do. He's just touched me, you see here, and just said Dad to me. I could hear the voice very clearly. And you've known a family name Wright. You know, W-R-I-G-H-T, that sort of Wright, you know here. And you've at some time worked somewhere where you've worn a uniform of some kind. But I keep on seeing you with a different hat on, a sort of hat.
Oh, yes, I understand that.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
You're showing this to me there and bringing such love and power. And they said you want to see her because when she's in the mood, she can make things rap, you know, go on. What do you mean by that? You're fun. And you like to let your hair down. Don't let that down. But nevertheless, you could let your hair down and feel in things. But during the past 12 months, you've had to stay very clear of that sort of thing. Come on, be honest about it.
Yes.
That's great. Now, I want to give you one other thing, and that is this. Don't look behind you. It's tomorrow that matters. Stop grieving of the past. And don't think what's going to happen. Think only of the things that will give you happiness. And by so doing, you'll remember what I said to you. It will come right. But you've someone away from you that you'd like to hear from.
Oh, yes.
Because they just told me. And I'm going to say this to you. Remember what I've said. There's nothing in the past. It's here now. And everything is going to work out. But February is not the best of months for you. But March will be a much better one. All right? Take all your worries with you. Don't come up. I know what I see. I know I'm right. You see? So you just do it. You got it now?
Thank you.
You can't say too long. They've just shown me a long envelope, and inside it is something to do with solicitors on the top. It's some like document, like a deed, and yet it is not a deed. It's something that needs a seal to it, and you'll sign this. So it's something to come. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And it will settle everything up. And you'll hear and know what I'm talking about when the month of March comes. All right? Good. Surprising how we get to know these things, isn't it? And nevertheless, that's what's there, and that's the way it has come to you.
get there. Did you say, do you know Devonshire Road, madam?
Yes.
Have you had a contact with it?
Yes.
In the past, I
Every
mean.
day.
Pardon?
Every day.
What did she say?
Every day.
Oh, every day. Because someone said, you left Devon up in the air, you didn't deal with it, and tell her it's Devonshire Road that we're after. Something to do with Devonshire Road or something like that. Do you understand that? And I rather felt that they were dealing with a situation that is with you that would bring that particular experience to you. All right? Good. Now, one of you three ladies here has had something to do with a number. Oh, wait a minute. It's 32679. What is that?
It was my previous phone number.
A 5-figure number?
Yes.
32679. Is this a long time ago?
Yes.
Now then, could you tell me of whether that telephone, that number, was on a telephone that was in a doorway, that you had to go through a door and there it was?
That's right, Gordon.
Is that where you
Yes,
had your
Gordon.
telephone?
Yes.
All right.
One time.
Now then, if this is so, you have known someone that used to come to you and you used to leave little notes, and they used to be where the telephone was.
That's correct.
And when they came in, they used to come to see the notes that had been left behind.
That's right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
They have just shown one to me here, and it is to do with the month of February, and it's to do with a date in February,
Yes.
and it's somewhere near to the 14th.
That's correct.
That's it. They've just shown this to me and told me to tell you that they wanted to bring this to you and to get this across. You must have known someone named Helen that has passed over.
Well, the Helen I know is on the Earth plane.
Oh.
And that 15th of February associates
I'm sorry
in
about
that.
that.
It's all
Will you
right,
accept
Gordon.
that? But they
Yes,
just told me I was to
yes,
tell you
yes.
that. Now, if that is the case, will you now, wait a moment, do one of you two ladies know the name of Janet?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes, she's my cleaner.
Named Janet?
Yes.
Have you been talking to her recently?
Oh, yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
Well, I could hear someone talking to me of Janet, you see here.
I know she's
And
in a bit of difficulty. Janet's in a little difficulty at the
Oh, is
current
she?
time. Yes.
And have you
Gordon.
been sending your thoughts out?
Oh, very
about
much
Janet?
so.
Oh, well, all right.
Yes.
Well, we'll accept that, you see here, because I could hear this going on. And I have to ask you if you have something that's made of straw or corn. You know the sheaves of corn?
Oh, yes.
Have you got anything in
Yes,
your house
yes.
that's made of corn?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yes.
Well, if so, it could be in a glass cabinet or something.
That's correct.
That's
yes.
correct. Now, there is a lady here that's talking about this and was saying to me that I want you to know that they knew about it and that you've got various things that are memories to you of people that have passed over.
Oh, very much
Do you
so,
understand?
Gordon, yes.
Now they've come here and they've wrapped around you a shawl.
I need it.
A shawl. Oh, I see. They brought you a gift. Looks as though they've been knitting in the spirit world. Knitting, you see.
I had
here.
that gift. I had that shawl given to me as a gift from Edith.
Oh, you did. Well, whatever it is, I can see here this there. They brought it.
But I need to
You do talk too much.
All right.
Now then, just keep this contact there. They put this around you. It's a knitted shawl. They've shown it to me, and it's nothing to do with what you just said. You see, she's got it in there. And they've just told me it's a gift from the spirit world that they brought to you because they wanted to keep you warm and contented.
Thank you.
And they have brought it to you
and it is from someone in the spirit world they called Nellie.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
she's knitted it in the spirit world.
Thank
Will you
you,
remember
Gordon,
that?
I will
And
do.
she's brought
Yes.
it to you as a gift for Christmas and the New Year, I think. But nevertheless, they've made it there and they brought it to you. And I want to say that they've looked up into they've got records in the spirit world about us, because they said they've looked up in the record, and you might think sometimes you're going across. Well, you're not going to go across for the next 10 years, so you've got 10 years still here. And if I were you, I should make the best of those 10 years and live it, the best you can. But that's what I see. Do you understand
Yes,
that?
thank
And
you
be
very
a good
much,
girl.
Gordon.
Oh, and they just told me you knew someone here that used to have an old public house and used to have barrels, the barrels and this sort of thing. Do you follow
Going
that?
back
They've
some
come
time.
to see you and send their best wishes to you. And they've come with Lillian.
Oh, thank you very
Have
much.
you got it?
Yes.
Good.
Thanks,
That's
Gordon.
what they've come to tell you about. So now be good. And
That's
there.
right.
There is a young man building there who was giving to me the name of David. And he's where the girl, the lady is there, yes, that's there. He's passed over. I've been waiting for him to just quieten down a little because he was very excited because I'd already spoken to him and let him know that I was going to come to him as soon as possible. And he keeps giving to me the name of David, which I was assured from the way he's talking must be his own name. Hold on, are you saying no? Oh yeah, well, give me a chance, will you? Just declare it, so I know where I am. Just give me this name of David. And he's also speaking of someone named Stephen. So I feel that I've got two names there that will link this young man up. Now I've got, I thought at first it was an accident, but I'm quite sure it isn't. Because I feel that this young man knew what he was doing when he passed over. Because it didn't seem to me that he woke in the spirit world over surprise. I think he seemed to want in some way to end it, and in a peculiar way it seemed to happen. Now, I have now to ask you, do you understand it? You did, right? Well, now, the ladies behind there, do you know anything that's something to do with David and Stephen, and where there was definitely a tragedy there? And I feel it was I must say that I did feel I could feel myself suffocated, and I rather felt that he might have put something over his head here. Pardon?
I know David who did that.
Pardon?
I know David who did that.
Oh, you're quite sure about that? I'm sorry, I'm picking them up here, you see. Here. Well, just wait a moment, let's see if I can go on any further with it. Who is Stephen that would probably belong to him?
No idea.
I see. But David is correct, isn't it?
Yes.
And that it was with his suffocation. I do know, and he's young, you see here, this is the point. What rather saddened me was to see that there could have been so much in this man's life. And he seemed to lose confidence and faith and sort of felt that he didn't want this sort of life. He felt that he had to get himself. And I knew at first, I thought, as I picked him up, I got the tragedy, I knew there was something there, and then as I've spoken to him, I realized that he was aware of what he was really doing.
Yes.
And,
Face what he had to.
pardon?
He couldn't face what he had to.
That's it. That's what I feel. He seemed to lose confidence, you see here, and his ability. But nevertheless, he is here, and wishes me to tell you he's here, and that he is passing his best wishes on. I wonder if I had someone that you could know that they used to call Edna, and whether there could have been an Edna where this young man is concerned. Would you know that?
I don't know.
I see. I must leave it for you to find out because I don't want to waste the time
in talking about something you can't at the moment be able to follow. But you can prove it. But I do get that name there. And now, if what I'm saying is correct, and I know it is, then you must know the parents of this young man. Because I feel that there was a knowledge of this, and that you did try to discuss things where you could, but found it difficult to be able to get them to open up to you. And that's why this young man has come here now, because he wishes to be able to get through and realize that even though he did this, he's not escaped from the responsibility that he had of leaving it behind. Do you understand that? I feel that is correct. Pardon?
The responsibility went with it.
Yes. Well, you see, here it is that I've got here. And I wanted you to realize they wanted to get through here. And to say to you that it's still there, you see here, and that he can't escape this sort of responsibility. So I want you to know that, but I do want you to know that he is there and sending his best wishes there. Rather strange, he's just told me that your father has helped him on the other side. Now, pardon? Because I asked him who was there, and he said, well, the father, although I didn't know a lot, but my parents would have known, you see here. But he's made it known to me that your father has. And I can hear Tom as I'm talking to you. So there's someone belonging to you named Tom on the other side. Is that correct?
No, not belonging to me.
Not belonging to you. Belonging to who?
I don't know.
Was there anyone on your husband's side of the family that could be named
yes,
Tom?
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
Because I feel that I want this contact, you see
Yes.
here. And I must ask you if you have in your possession a small book that could be an old address book, but small, not a lot big one, a small book that could be an address book, but going back some years, not a modern one, an older one.
I found one the other day.
You did?
Yes.
Now if so, would this take you back in the past?
It did, yes.
In there, you've got some addresses and etc. that take you back into the past, and people that you had completely forgotten, and looking at it has brought memories back to you. Is that correct? Right. Well, I have to tell you, I've got to give you Ted, the name of Ted there, and I've also got to bring to you someone named William, that they would always be called William as well, never shortened to Bill, you see here, because I keep getting William. But they've come along because they want you to know that there has been a reunion in the spirit world of all those, and that old address book that you found, the people in there have nearly all passed away, you see here. And they wanted you to say there's been a reunion, and that's how you found it, because they wanted you to know that they had met each other. Do you understand that? There we are. That's it. Do give your thoughts to David, you see here, because it's very necessary that it is, and he does need to be able to make some contact somewhere on this particular experience. And I think here there needs a sitting of some kind to be able to help him, or some seance where they can meet and be able to clear something that just needs clearing at the present time. I do hope you'll understand it. Good. Oh, they just told me. Now that's strange. Would the lady in the red coat stand up, please? Would the lady I'm talking to there, will you two look at each other? Do you two know one another?
No.
Well, they just told me from the spirit world that you both passed the same cemetery.
Yes. I knew when you made the contact which cemetery it was.
Oh, you did? You know someone in that cemetery, and you knew a sailor that had passed away.
I did.
That's it. That's what they just do. They picked it up, you see, on the other side, and just said I used to pass that on to you. Can I just come to the lady that's just got her arms folded, please? Yes. You know, there's a lovely lady there. I wish you could see her. I wish I could just loan you my vision just for a moment, because she's just come in there, and she's such a nice lady. But when we say a person's nosy, we have to be careful I use that, because some people we would say, you know, they're a nosy parker, but in actual fact they're not. They're concerned, and very often trying to get out of us things where we might sort of say, oh, you know, they're always asking me things. I wish they'd leave me alone. Now this lady's very much like that, you see here. And she keeps on looking at you and coming up to me and saying, you must help me, you know, because she's sitting there taking it all in, and she's thinking so many things that could happen, so many of us that have passed over that she'd love to have her given to. Come on, be honest about it. Isn't that correct? And she's there, and she's sort of saying, now come on, do what you can. And looking at you in such a lovely way. You know someone they used to call Maggie that was Margaret, but they called her Maggie. Is that correct? Yes, you can. And someone they called Liz, just Liz, not Elizabeth or Lizzie, just Liz. And also a lady they used to call Polly, but her name is Mary, but you always got Polly, and she belongs to your mother. And sometime they have lived near to either a very large lake, or certainly not the sea, because it's too, and someone used to go fishing. So you've known someone that would go fishing. Could this have been your grandfather? Did your grandfather live where there was a large lake and people went fishing there? Don't know at the moment where I am, but I will pick it up in a few moments. When you were a girl, didn't you go to a church school? You see, that's where I want to be, you see, because they keep saying to me that I want you to go there. And your memories seem to go back to that particular place. And that's where I want to be. And I can see, where we have lots of hedgerows, I can see the stone and the bricks you see here, and the sort of walls and the old sort of places there. And I can see that. And I can also see a church and a hospital not too far away. Wasn't this a children's hospital? And at some time, were you in that hospital? That's right, that's what I've got. Now my communicator wants to come to you, and this lady, you see, she has her head there, and slight in build. She must have been a lady that weight wouldn't have just, she couldn't have carried it. She was too energetic and too full of everything, and she was never still, this lady. She worked herself into the grave, because right to the last, she wouldn't give in, you see here. And, but she's there, and she's really loving you. She does really care for you. And it's, you know, when people pass over like that, we think sometimes, you know, I'm not saying they were a bother, but isn't it funny how you miss people that sometimes you just wanted to escape, just for a little bit, just to have some space between you, do you see? And I think this is what she's trying to tell me. Do you understand? You've thought about her so many times, and tears have come in your eyes because you now say, oh, if only she was here, and I could do for her what I couldn't do then. Come on. And you've said, if only I could just see her, and I could talk to her and let her know. Well, she's here, just as she knows all she needs to know, because she reaches it from your heart. Do you understand? And she says she's been with you for the past 2 or 3 years, coming around there, and sometimes you've said, oh, I wouldn't change places for anybody, I've got to count my blessings. And she's come back and she said, she's changed her mind now.
It seems as though everything's getting on her nerves at the moment. Come on, be honest. It is correct, isn't it?
Yes, of course. Now, I want to tell you something, because she's come along with your dad. She's just said, I'm to tell you your dad's here. Come on. It's correct, isn't it? Yes. They're together, you see, here. And as they've done so, she's come along, and they're arm in arm here, you see here. And one, oh, so totally different in personality and character there. And it looks as though you have said, I will want to know a lot more. I can't just say yes to anything. I shall need it explaining to me. And I shall need to know for sure, because I wanted to accept it. I want to know that we're going to be together. And they said, we've never parted from you. Isn't it lovely? They've never parted from you. And they know the problems and troubles you've had. They're lifting you up in that lovely feeling of contentment and compassion. And that's fine. Have you 3 children? No. Why is she showing me 2 boys and a girl? Pardon? Are you relation?
Yes.
Oh, that's it. Because she keeps on saying, talk about the 2 boys and the girl. Do you understand that? And as I with this, there's a man with them, and he's come from the war, and he was definitely in the army in the war. But he's passed away since, and is with them. And he's John. Keep saying he's John here. And way into the past there, but come back in a very nice way. And they keep saying to me that you are closer now than you've been for a very long time.
That's correct.
And it's because you've both passed through an experience of where you need one another at the present time. And it's been a very good thing that you've been able to put the past behind you. All right? They want you together because it means a great deal to you. Do you understand that? Look after yourselves and everything could go fine. They want you to know they love you both. And the children as well. All right? And they're sending them... Is this Susan? Who is Susan? Who is Sue? Pardon?
I know Sue.
Good. They just wish to be remembered where Susan is concerned. All right? And they're talking also of Michael, someone they call Mike. And I've also got Nick, Nicholas, Nicholas, Nick. Is that correct? Just say no, it isn't, because I've got someone talking to me.
Not Nicholas.
All right, that's right. But you can place Michael, can you? That's fine. Okay? Right. The lady just by the wall there. Do you know Nicholas? Someone they called Nick.
No, I don't know.
That's where it is. Hold on just a moment. The gentleman and lady, are you 2 together?
Yes.
Have you a grandson?
Yes.
Pardon? Is his name Nicholas? Nick?
No, but I know a Nick.
Who is Nick?
Nicholas was a cousin of mine.
That's passed over?
Yes.
Fine, hold on. It's where he is. And, but they're talking about a grandchild, a grandson here.
Yes.
And a link with you. And what else have I got there? Hold on. Someone keeps on bringing a dog here. And it's pulling me like mad.
Yes.
It's a dog you couldn't teach to go slow. As soon as he got, it was a certain time, the dog would know that it was going to be taken out. Yeah. And you wouldn't stop until it had got you across the road, away from the house, and where there was some sort of place that you could go and let him off the leash.
Sure.
Come on.
Yes.
Yes.
He was
Do you know the dog's here?
Yes.
And he's pulling me. I was coming along here, I was walking along, he was pulling me along there as much as say, it's time to go now, you see here, and come very close there. And there's the name of Rose.
Yes.
Is this correct?
Thank you.
Good. They're coming in very well there, and with a lovely feeling Oh, you've known someone named Fletcher.
Yes.
Yes. And you've also known someone that used to, what do they call those people that go up
Yes.
ladders and things, right up high?
Steeplejack.
Steeplejack. You've known someone that was a steeplejack.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Because I got here and they said they thought that they climbed enough. And when they went across, they said, "Where is heaven from here? I'm used to climbing heights." Because he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to go down, you see. And he was quite surprised when they told him he was there already. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And he's a very nice chap there, just coming along in a very nice way and wishing very much to come to you. As I'm talking to you, there is a lady there. She must be your mother, but could be your mother-in-law. And this is why I just have to be a little bit patient with at the moment. But who is Kath? Who is Kath? Someone living now, I mean, not passed over. Who is Kath?
Yes.
Are you husband and wife?
Yes, Kath, I know Kath.
Pardon?
I know Kath.
Then if you do, pardon?
We are together.
Oh, you are together. Because I had this lady there, and I felt as though, although she came as a mother, I wasn't sure about it, you see here. And then I got this name of Kath.
I know.
Do you understand that now?
Yes, I know now.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Well, now that I got it, she brought this to you. Do you know, she's very funny here, because they just looked at you and they said, although he's going thin on the top, it's lasting longer than he thought. He never thought he'd lose his hair at all. So you must have thought that you were going to keep your hair, because they don't lose hair on your side of the family. Is that correct? Did your grandfather have a lot of hair when he passed over?
I didn't know it.
Oh, you didn't. Well, wouldn't it be nice to meet him on the other side and realise that he'd got a very full head of hair? Do you understand that? Nevertheless, they're counting the hairs on your head. And really looking at it, you must say, I think you'll pretty well stay, you're certainly going to stay as it is for a while, so you're all right. I wish they'd told me that. Never. Fanny. You've known someone they call Fanny.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Good. Oh, and Mrs. Jones sends her best wishes to you. She says that they used to call her Anna. She says she was a friend of your mother's who knew Alice.
Alice?
Yes.
Alice was my aunt, yeah.
Pardon? That's where she belongs, you see here. So she must have married into a family of Jones somewhere, and you'd find the Hannah there. Will you remember that? But they've all come together, and they've said, you got over one problem, you got into another, you've got over that now, and you're just now finding a little bit of peace, and you're finding yourself far more content than you were 12 months ago.
Very much.
Is that correct? Isn't it surprising how they've guided you?
Yes.
And isn't it surprising when you thought that you haven't got anything to look forward to, now you've got so much to look forward to? And haven't you been saying, I must count my blessings? And haven't you said, I know you've helped me when I was so desperate to find something to live for?
Not long ago.
Now you've got it, haven't you?
Yes.
That's right. That's what they've come for. And you see how they've worked?
Yes.
So understand, they brought it back to you in a very loving way. All right. The lady next to you knows Ethel.
Yes.
Yes.
My sister.
Pardon?
My sister.
Your sister. Well, she wishes to be remembered. Do you understand that? And just said to tell you that she was Ethel.
Bless you.
All right. Good. Oh, they just brought you some pansies. And they've said you had a garden
I did.
where you had clumps of pansies. And they used to flower from one year to another. And every time you said, I never planted those there. Those, I don't know where those have come from, but they seem to come up.
It was a small one.
That's right. There they are, you see. They brought them back to you with a great deal of understanding and affection. Good. Where are we? Wait a minute. have to borrow this name. Someone here knows a Miss Fletcher. Oh, which she was it? That she was a Miss Fletcher?
No, she was Mrs.
Pardon?
She was Mrs. She was a widow.
Oh. If so, then she's passed over.
I haven't seen her for a while, so I
But you wouldn't know for sure.
I can take Miss Fletcher.
Pardon?
I can take Miss Fletcher.
A Miss Fletcher?
Miss Fletcher.
That's passed over? Oh, you ought to say, I was pulling away there, I heard someone just say Miss Fletcher. They will only know me as Miss Fletcher, you see here. And just wanted me just to say that they have just come through.
She was telling the lady and gentleman.
Oh, well, there we are. That's why they have come together. Do you understand that? I just tell you, just to give Miss Fletcher there. I must have misjudged as I was getting the communication there. Is the lady here? Can I just have your voice?
Yes.
Have you had to wheel someone in a wheelchair? It's a gentleman, and he had to be wheeled about. There's a gentleman in the aisle there, and he's sitting in this chair and being wheeled about. And he keeps saying he's Harry. Who was Harry? The lady behind you there. Who was Harry that was in a wheelchair?
No, I was in a wheelchair, but not Harry.
Pardon?
It wasn't Harry in the wheelchair.
Oh, well, hold on. I'll be back in a moment. Could I ask the gentleman there, can I just have a voice for a moment, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Have you had anything to do with music? I keep seeing a conductor there, conducting music.
Only that I like coffee.
Pardon?
I like coffee music.
You do. You haven't known anyone who would compose music or anything like that. The lady here, there, would you know anything to do with music? I want to be sure about it because it won't go over to the gentleman there. But I got this gentleman in the wheelchair. Who then would be Harry that would know this gentleman or you?
A cousin of his.
Did this cousin ever help him in any way? Was there a close link between them?
No, not really. Not really.
For some reason, he has called Harry to me, you see here. And there must be a reason for it. And there has to be a reason there. Wait a moment. Yes, I know. They just told me that it's something to do with, you must have nursed someone that needed a lot of attention.
Yes.
Was this something to do with your husband? Oh, that's it. Because they've just told me I must deal with it in this way too. And somewhere, you always said, I did my best. I wonder if there's any more I could have done. And I hear a voice saying, you did more than really should have been expected from you. Because I feel that there was a tremendous responsibility placed upon your shoulders here. And too many were, I want you to promise me this, and I want you to promise me that. Do you understand that? And I feel that you did everything to the end that you could, but it was a relief when it passed. Please don't take that wrong.
No, I don't.
But I do feel that I have to say what I say.
Yes, it was.
I couldn't have prayed for this man to live. I would have had to pray for him to pass. And if you would have asked me as a minister to do what I could, I would have thought it a blessing for him to be relieved from all this, because it wasn't human to let him sort of hang on. Do you understand? And I feel that you had, I can feel the tears flowing down as though you couldn't watch this. You felt that you couldn't see what was happening. You didn't want to, and yet you knew you had to. I could see a man extremely kind in build, a very fine man. All at once I've seen him go, and
he was never the same man. He became not difficult, but unfortunate. Have you got it? He wishes to give you his love. And I keep on seeing there Preston Old Road for some reason. What does it mean to you?
And my daughter went to live there when she got married.
Well, there you
My
are.
daughter went to live there. Yes.
Pardon?
My daughter lived there when she got married.
Well, there you are. He's asked me to give you Preston Old Road. Do you understand that? So you see, he's with you, and he's bringing back memories. And he's just, isn't that funny? He's just brought you a huge basket of flowers. And he said these words. It isn't like me to do this, you know. And he said, I never felt that I would have to come and do this. But will you tell her, I thank God and bless the ground, and I kissed it to know that we would meet again. Because he didn't think you were going to meet again. And now he knows. And he's brought you the biggest, beautiful lot of flowers that I've seen. That's coming out of it are the iris. And he says you'll know why. And he's brought all the coloured iris to you. All right? It is lovely to know, you see here, that he's there and that he's come in such a lovely, wonderful way. He says that you still use the tray. You've got the same tray. You used to take things to him on a tray, and you've still got it, and you still use it, and you've still got a little cloth that you used to put there, and you used to take something and tuck it in here, and it was much bigger than a serviette. It wasn't a serviette, it was something else, but he said, you so looked after me, I don't know what I've done to really deserve such kindness. And when he went across, he said, if there's a God, let me come and thank him for all the love that was shown to me. All right? And be a good girl. And no. Oh, someone's just said to tell you, someone's just told me to tell you that Laura wishes to be remembered to you. Do you remember Laura?
It's his aunt.
His aunt. Well, there you are, you see. He's met Laura, and they wish to be remembered. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Good. They told me that you've had something in, I don't know if it's bonds or what it is, but you've recently changed something into money to put into the bank. Was this something to the post office or something? Pardon? Yes. And you've put it into the bank, but you could have done it some time ago, but you kept putting it in case you needed it. And all at once you found that you did need it. And so you changed it. Do you understand that? And you put the remainder in the bank. They've even reckoned up how much it is. Nevertheless, they've just shown it to me there, and they've told me. And rather strange, they've said that you had, it looks like a £50 note to me there, but it was a note, and quite a big figure there. But you got rid of it because you realised, you took the bank, so I don't want it like this, I must have it in small change. And but they wanted to know that. I hope you understand this.
Yes.
Good girl. And it's just written B over your head, so it must be the initial of the name. Is this Barbara? It's a lady's name. Is it Barbara?
He has a cousin, Barbara.
Pardon? No. It's got to be some. While you're sitting there, just think why he's written that initial. He'll probably write the name very soon. The gentleman I was talking to a while ago, can I just have your voice? Now, again, do take always what I say in the nice way. It's meant like that. But has there been a separation in the family very recently? Pardon? Sorry? Not recently. I can see a family parting in some way, and I thought that I saw the sea and someone flying over the sea away, and there seemed to be a parting as though someone had flown, you see, here, and gone. Does that mean anything to you? Do you understand it in that way? Right. You haven't left your family, have you personally, and moved away from your family, and they could be quite a distance from you. You're just sure about it. I definitely get Australia, and I felt that there was something to do with Australia. It means nothing at all. The young man sitting on the end there, it's got to be across there, you see. Do you know anything about that at all? Say no if you don't. Oh no, this is definitely Australian. I'd like to make it fit, but the name of Prince. Someone named Prince. Does this convey it to you somehow? Yes?
Yeah.
What does the name of Prince mean to you?
It's my name before everyone.
Oh, it was. Now then, if this is correct, who was it that went to Australia and split from the family and made their own life in Australia?
Well, I've got religion.
I see. But you don't know what happened at that particular period, except that they were. All right, good. Now, as I am picking this up, I have this. I'm sorry about that, sir. Now, who is it? And I have to give this. Who is it that had before that? You were told about it, but you kept on going, hoping that it would work itself out. It never could. It never would. But you bless the day now that you did. And if you'd done it before, your life would never have worked out. It's better as it's happening now. Do you understand it? Because it saved you an enormous amount of heartache. You know. And I feel that you're on the road now because it's broadening out. And I want you to realize that. You know, God moves in a mysterious way for us. And at the time, we often wonder about it. Then all at once, when we look back on a situation, we realize all at once it's come for the best. Now, will you remember that? That's good. And when you were home at that time, there must have been 5 of you. Because I keep counting 5. Have you got that? And splendid. And they're coming in here. Now, you, madam, have always had to take what it is. You've always had to make the decisions. You've always had to do this. And when you've made them, it was never always right. Do you follow that? And no one else would take this, say, that's what you want, that's it. But if it doesn't go right, you take the responsibility of it. And you used to make the decision, keeping your fingers crossed, hope this all work out. Never did. It never quite worked out. Come on. But when you look back, you're very happy now. Because you realize that it was something you had to pass through. You've learned a lot of lessons from that experience.
Thank you, Gordon.
If I can just clear the situation there and say to you that the communicator that is there with you, giving his name of Prince there, and taking you back for this experience, want me to say to you, there are problems even yet which you will overcome. It's not always easy to straighten everything out straight away. Be patient. And although you are facing a period of sort of getting yourself settled down in things, it's not working out quite as you thought, it will. Give it time. All right? And as one door closes, remember, one will open. I'm so sure about it. Now, I do have to talk to the gentleman that's next to you, and I have to ask you if you've been visiting the hospital where someone has passed over, because I keep seeing the hospital bed with you. And I saw someone in it, and then all at once they had passed over. It's not an old person, it's a young person. It's definitely a lady, and I felt it was something to do either with childbirth or that sort of experience, because I felt there was something that they never recovered. I'm giving the name here that I want to give to you of Jean, and I felt that somewhere this is the lady I want to get. I think it doesn't mean anything to you at all. The lady I've been talking to, would that mean anything to you? I keep seeing this bed there, and inside this bed, and I felt that she hadn't got over the birth of a child, and I felt that she was warned about this, that she wanted this child, and she passed. That's what it is. Give a moment, Jean. And have you a telephone in your house? Is your number 404 and then 3 numbers that follow? Have you got 404? Keep seeing 40. Wait a minute. 404. Then there's a 219. And then I see 30. I seem to see a number there. 404 something else, and then 30.
I know 404630.
Do you know that a lot? Do you know it means something to you?
It's mine.
Oh, well, if it does, have you been able to help anyone at all that passed away through childbirth? And have you been asked to do anything about this? I can hear this telephone ringing, and all at once I asked what it was, and I saw this number coming up there. And it's someone young by the name of Jean. I didn't feel that she was a teenager. I felt that she was probably at that age when at birth it could be a problem there. And it doesn't mean anything to you. Have you lived in 2 houses? And if so, have you lived in one house where there would be a 34?
Yes.
And do you live in a house now which is 2A?
Yes.
You're the person I want. And at some time there's been someone belonging to you that's either been in medical things or healing, but something of where there's been a call for help here. And I feel that something has been done as far as that is concerned that could be necessarily of help. You've not been in hospital yourself, have you?
Yes.
Have you had surgery?
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
When you were there, I take it you didn't know, you didn't, there was no one belonging to you that had heard anything about what I'm giving to you, of someone that passed away through childbirth.
No, I'm going in again next month. Perhaps it's still to come.
Well, I don't think that's quite the answer, but I would like you to keep what I'm telling you there, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get it home to you, because it doesn't seem as though it's quite there, and yet the contact is correct, because the numbers are correct there, and someone that's here, who was it belonging to you that they used to call Fred?
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
And wasn't there someone called May, just May, like the month of May? Because I can hear that as well coming through. And I felt as though this contact seems to be there, and there was a call to you for prayer. I'm trying to get another name. Whether it's going to help you or not, I don't know. But the name of Jean seems to come in, and I felt someone had appealed to you because they probably thought you could help to give prayers as far as this was concerned. Do you collect names and offer prayers?
Oh, yes.
Will you look for Jean?
I will, yes.
Will you? And then will you let me know about this if you can, so that I can tell the Spirit given you found it. But I do feel that this is what it's all about, you see here. And it was someone that they knew was going to have a difficult time, and I felt that she'd had given birth to this child. She never got over it. and I felt that they took her into hospital. It was too late, and she passed over. She does tell me her name is Jean, and that there's something to do with that telephone number you see here. So I take it you've had that telephone number for 2 or 3 years. Is that correct?
No, nearly 10.
Nearly 10. Well, it's during that period that this has happened to you. I do hope you'll consider that. Pardon?
I hope I find it.
Right, you will. Now, may I just ask you one question there, and that is, what is the link with London with you? Who belongs to the south there?
Well, I have a couple of relatives in the south.
I see. Do they ring you? Do you talk to them on the telephone?
No.
At Christmas time, why do I hear a conversation here to do with the south here, and a conversation to do with talking about a hospital and talking about health? But it was not here, it was away from here. And I felt someone talking about it, you see here. And it was away from you. Have you a daughter?
Yes.
Does she live away from you?
Well, not very far, only in St. Anne's.
Oh, I see. There's no link there with anyone belonging to her that lives in the south. I want to go to the south, you see here. And someone just said that the daughter had been mentioned. And so it seems...
Well, I have a sister-in-law that lives in the Midlands somewhere, and it's her son that lives in the south.
Oh, now, will you
I was
accept?
talking to her about, well, she was asking how I was.
That's right. Now, that's what I want. Now, belonging there, you see, is someone here that was listening to this conversation and had also realized that there was this conversation going on by telephone, you see here, and that they'd heard these people mentioned. Do you understand that? About the south, about your daughter, and about hospital and health. Do you understand that? And that you had said, well, I realize I don't want to have it done, but I know that I've got to have it done. Is that correct? Now they're saying you're going to be all right. So if you'll accept it in that way, you've no need to worry. So keep your chin up. Now find Jean.
Yes, I'm
All right? And then you'll be able to realize that I know all the other, you see, there it is. That's got to be right. And it is right. And then you'll realize you'll have no need to worry and no need to fear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, we do thank Mr. Higginson for tonight's service. I'm sure there's been a lot of happiness come from this service tonight. And as you go home, you'll be thinking about your messages you have received. To those who have not received a message, remember you have helped in tonight's service because the Spirit people are all surround us. And it's lovely to think that we have met and that Mr. Higginson is now, I'm sure, feeling better than he was a little while ago. Thank you for tonight. Mr. Higginson will be with us. It's our Wednesday service, the Sunday afternoon service at 2:30. And then the usual services in the week, Wednesday afternoon and Thursday night. Thank you very much. Thank you. She's bringing the buckle up, but I think should we sing the hymn first? Shall we close our service by singing together hymn 358. 358. Lord, keep us safe this night.
highways of heaven, and our loved ones have come and spoken to us. And indeed it has been food with many thoughts. We thank Thee for knowing that life is continuous, that death is nothing, but that life is everything. May each and every one that is here go away full of joy, as they've been touched by the Spirit. Amen.
Oh.
Amen.